Good morning. So we're going to try to make something new here, Vietnamese egg coffee. So I'm going to use a fin to brew this coffee, and the way this works, the finer the grind, the stronger the brew will be, and in order to be authentic, it needs to be a super fine ground. So I'm going to take this already ground coffee and put it into my grinder to make it even finer. So we'll use 2 tablespoons of ground coffee. We'll pour a little hot water on there, let it bloom for 10-15 seconds. Let's tap this down a bit and pour the rest of the water in. Okay, while that is brewing, the next step is to make the egg. So I have 2 egg yolks in here, and I'm going to add about 2 teaspoons of sweetened condensed milk into it. When it starts to change color and get frothy, that means it's ready to pour on top of your drink. Oh, that's so good. After all the years of wanting to go international, it is finally time to actually go international. Join me as I head to Vietnam to explore a country brimming with culture, friendly people, delicious food, and beautiful countryside. A place that's sure to be very different than anything I've ever experienced in North America. Good afternoon, how's everyone doing? So my ongoing quest to find the best backcountry skiing in Canada, I've somehow wound up in Vietnam. Actually, Louie invited me to come here. Big thanks to her. Yeah, we're just outside of Sapa right now doing a little hiking, checking out all these little villages and rice terraces. These kind of feel like the Vietnam version of a FSR. We're on the back roads right now. Not much van life here. So we're in the northern mountainous part of Vietnam right now, and the highest mountain in the country is right behind us, Fancy Pan. It's over 10,000 feet. A little cooler in this area. There might be snow on top of that mountain. So yeah, it's much nicer to be out here in the countryside. Do a little hiking, see these little villages. Rocco couldn't come on this trip, unfortunately. She's back in Canada, but she's in good hands, having lots of fun, making some new friends there. That flight to get here, it was a lot. Felt like 700 hours. Okay. Yeah, can we see? Okay. Yeah, he lives right up on top of the mountain. It's all yours. It's beautiful. Yeah, it's hard to see, but very smoky. You have a fire going, kettle. Wow, yeah. It's warm. Yeah. Oh, very good, very good. What's your name?
What is your name?
Tên của bạn là gì?
Tên của bạn á?
Louis.
Louis.
Simon.
Thế à?
Here,
Không biết tiếng Tây. Không biết tiếng Tây. Và về nhà về nó không biết. Mình không biết. Nó biết nó về nó về nhà. Và về xuống đến nhà.
How long have you lived here?
Nó sống ở đây bao lâu rồi? Sống bao lâu rồi nha. Chồng á?
Yes.
Chồng á? Chồng á? Chồng á?
Yeah, I've never experienced a mountain like this before. People are just living up here. Guy was loving life. He had a whole view to himself. The rock is an illusion.
Here.
Oh, there it is.
Yay. A Vietnamese peak.
So we just hit a mini summit here outside of Sapa. I think we're at around 2,000 meters. Fancy Pan is still another 1,000 meters above us over there. Yeah. Okay, let's get down from here. The next day, Fancy Pan cleared off and was begging to be hiked up, but we already had plans to go to Ha Giang to tour a 4-day loop. I never knew about the Ha Giang loop. Louis introduced me to the idea, and it's really what sold me to visit Vietnam. The loop is a little over 400 kilometers long and travels through northern Vietnam's mountainous countryside. It's become a very popular tourist destination over the last years, and most people opt to ride on the back of a motorcycle to experience it. We were worried about cold, rainy weather, and also riding on the back of a motorcycle for over 400 kilometers of winding mountain roads sounded very exhausting, so we opted for the choice of riding in a Jeep instead. This truly was the most comfortable way to relax and enjoy the never-ending scenery. However, the problem with being on a tour is that we were stuck to a planned itinerary, and most of the stops were very busy, crowded, and sometimes a wild party scene. I would have liked to do more exploring off the beaten path and also have more interactions with locals, so doing the loop independently on a rented motorcycle at your own pace might be the best way to do it. However, the winding mountain roads can be very hectic to drive, and also there can be fines at police checkpoints without the correct licensing. The scenery we witnessed along the loop never stopped being incredible. The road wound up and down from one mountain pass to the next, and I couldn't get over how people live and cultivate absolutely everywhere. Only the tops of mountains remain untouched. Northern Vietnam's countryside truly was some of the most remarkable scenery I've ever witnessed. So I have a couple days left here in Vietnam before I have to go back to Canada. Oh, just so much driving. It's all blur. So I'm trying to stay in one spot for a little bit here in Ha Giang City. Take a look around, see what we can find. The infrastructure of roads and plumbing, hydro is all really fascinating to me. You can see here they just rigged up some bamboo poles for the electricity, and cell coverage has been great. Like everywhere we go, even up in the remote mountains in the small villages, they have coverage. I have an eSIM on my phone, just always like 4G coverage wherever we go. It's been good that way. As far as I can tell, nobody walks here. Everybody has scooters. Clearly the best way to get around.
Quay video nhé. Okay, you want pie? Okay.
Is it good? Okay.
Yes. Okay.
In Vietnam, climbing a mountain is a whole process. It's not as simple as in Canada, where you just like go to the mountain and climb it alone. The journey has officially begun. We have a guide, and we're walking through this little village. You said this is a Tay village. I don't know what it's called. Maybe we can add that in later. But it's all very mysterious, this whole process. I don't know what's happening, but
This is been the whole time in Vietnam.
we're just going with the flow today. It's one of the nicest villages we've seen yet. So lush in here. Fresh water coming down from the mountains.
Yeah.
According to my GPS and how I would have hiked up this mountain, we would have been in the next valley way over. I have no idea what's happening right now. I'm just going with the flow. Maybe they have some secret trail systems up here. This is water that goes down to the village, and all these individual pipes for different houses down there.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Ngại vì thời gian quá đâu đúng không? Thoải mái mà đúng không?
Grapefruit.
Hóa ra thì ngồi ở chỗ cửa nhà bố hôm để ở đấy.
Thế hôm qua chú lưu bọn lên từ đấy à?
This in here. The cinnamon.
Cinnamon. Thank you. Wow, yeah. Cinnamon. It's very good. I've been on a few mystery hikes, but this one definitely takes the cake. The trail just keeps getting narrower and narrower, going higher up. Where it's taking us, we don't know. We're just along for the ride.
Thêm cái
Who needs carbon fiber when you have bamboo? I don't understand how land ownership works here. We're kind of just cutting across all these terraces. There's not any no trespassing signs. No gunshots yet.
Picture with buffalo.
ra đây làm việc thôi cho gà Việt Nam. Đây là kiểu lán của cô ấy.
Work. Ở đây là vào nhà họ đây á? Đến rồi à?
Ừ.
Thì cũng gần thôi chứ nhỉ?
So we went from farmers' fields right to a gated resort. There's a lot of contrasts in Vietnam. It seems like tourism is really booming.
Cho đầy đấy nha.
Never say no to happy water.
1, 2, 3, vô.
1, 2, 3, vô.
2, 3, vô.
2, 3, vô.
2, 3, uống.
2, 3, uống. Okay, cheers. Okay.
So I asked to hike up a big mountain, lots of pain and suffering, but instead we got a luxury resort up on the mountainside. The language barrier has treated us good today.
Yeah. This is my favorite song.
The mystery tour continues. Looks like we're looping back down around to the highway again. Just interesting to see how people are living up here. I just don't understand how it all works. It just seems like people build houses like anywhere and everywhere, and also farm anywhere and everywhere, every single little nook and cranny. It's hard to tell like who owns what. Maybe it's just all a community thing.
Em thấy bên anh bây giờ thằng Trung nhá thì vẫn chạy bên anh đấy. Trung với thằng
Trung bây giờ đang chạy cho bên thằng Hiếu.
Thì ta ngồi trực tiếp vô đi rồi này phải sàn nó có sàn. Lô. Lô trắng thu hẹ.
Ôi trang vừa mua một cánh trâu đấy. Em má coi em vô cái.
It's just like another day up in the mountains here. I wish I knew some of the language and could figure out what they're actually saying and talking about. There's a lot of contrast here. It's like walking back in time as you go up into the mountains to see the old traditional way of life that they've been living for like the past hundreds, if not thousands of years in these mountains. And then like the rapid modernization trickling into it, all the plastic and all that stuff. But yeah, the older generation here has probably witnessed so much change within their lives since childhood. And like you look at some of these people and they're just connected to the earth and in a way that's very rare. It's something that's disappearing and hard to find nowadays.
đấy, này xếp cháu bên này. Đi mê không? Đi về không?
Well, I made it back to Canada, reunited with Rocco. Can't wrap up a video without a little Rocco content in it. I was leaving Vancouver and I saw this Mount Outram hike on the map. Weather's beautiful, so no choice, we got to do it. But nice to be back on these roads that actually appear to have laws and rules to abide by. You can't just drive down the middle of the road and honk at everyone to get out of your way. I don't know how they do it there, and I don't know how we never witnessed a single accident. If I was expected to drive on those roads, I'd have a panic attack. I don't think I could do it. But everyone is like so quick-minded there, and it carries over to a lot of the interactions that we had. Like here, you go to a restaurant or you go shopping, and it's like, hey, how are you? How was your day? How is the weather treating you? Type stuff. But there, you go to a restaurant, you sit down, you tell them what you want, they bring it, you eat it, you pay, you leave. Like, just so to the point, so snappy and quick. Mission accomplished, and I like it. It keeps you on your toes. But yeah, everyone is really friendly there, and I felt safe in Hanoi, other than the fact that pedestrians are like lowest priority for getting anywhere on the streets. It gets overwhelming and exhausting to always be playing like a real life Frogger there. But yeah, had a great time, and I'd 100% go back and recommend it to others as well. Just when I swore I'd never use the suffer shoes ever again, here we are. Just not convinced there's going to be any good skiing up there today. But all that time spent cruising around Vietnam, eating delicious food, paying the price for it now. That did no favors for my cardio health. I'm so used to doing like big meandering switchbacks on skis. Nice change just to be able to go straight up. I just switched over to crampons. Seems like they'll serve me slightly better for this last hoof up to the top. And Rocco, she just had her nails done, so she's missing her crampons. I'm afraid if I let her out on this, she's gonna slip and slide all the way back down to the bottom. But yeah, I read online there's a false summit that most people go up to, get a lookout and turn back down, because the true summit requires some exposed scrambling to get to the top. In winter conditions, it might be filled in, it might be an easy kick step to the top, or else it might just be an icy death trap. And if that's the case, I'll probably just get the lookout, turn back down. So this is the lookout most people climb up to, then turn around on. And the ridgeline continues up and over there. Definitely looking pretty spicy. But I'll get the drone out, take a good look at it before I make a final decision whether or not I want to risk my life to climb barely a meter higher than where I am right now. Well, I gave her my best shot. I made it to the middle point in the ridgeline there, but the drop off the other side looked like certain death. Not worth the risk for basically the same viewpoint. I'd much rather make it back to the van in one piece, so it is what it is. But I think that wraps up another episode. Thanks for watching. Thanks for coming along. Hope everyone's doing good, and I will see you in the next one.